Yabba dabba doo, Jane! Stop this crazy thing! That might be my worst Fred Flintstone impression ever. But yeah, anyway, it's me, the media guy. Today I'm here to share my thoughts on the Jetsons meet the Flintstones, one of the Hanna-Barbera Superstars 10 movies, which I probably showed off in a few videos ago. Two classic cartoon families to get together in a wild and woolly mammoth movie treat. Well, it's not wrong, that's for sure. It's the wackiest animated adventure of all space-time when the world's favorite modern Stone Age family comes face to face with the first family of the future in a matchup that only Hanna-Barbera Studios can delightfully make possible. Thanks to Elroy's malfunctioning time machine. Oh boy, that could spell trouble. The Flintstones and Rubbers are zapped into the Robo-Run future, while the Jetsons suddenly find themselves in the dinosaur-filled past. Can our fearless families adapt? And more importantly, will they ever get back home? Find out in a time-hopping animated feature-length ROM packed with all the gags, gadgets, and non-stop fun unleashed when the Jetsons meet the Flintstones! Oh boy, what a description! This movie is actually pretty amazing. Like I said just now, this is one of the many Hanna-Barbera Superstars 10 movies that I have in my WB home media collection. The other four are Scooby-Doo Meets the Boo Brothers, Ghoul School, Reluctant Werewolf, and Yogi's Great Escape. So this is actually the fifth Hanna-Barbera Superstars 10 movie I've owned. Meaning I'm still gonna track down the other 5 someday. Rockin' with Judy Jetson, Top Cat and the Beverly Hills Cats, Yogi Bear and the Invasion of the Space Bears, The Good, the Bad, the Huckleberry Hound, and Yogi Bear and the Magical Flight of the Spruce Goose. So what do I think about this movie? The Jetsons Meet the Flintstones is pretty fun. I mean, there's a lot of funny moments here and there. The Jetsons trying to get used to the Stone Age time period of the world, while the Flintstones and Rubbles try to get adjusted to their new futuristic home. And yes, it is kind of funny that two different families from two different time periods are having trouble getting adjusted to it. I mean, it's kind of like Back to the Future, if you know what I mean. I mean, who can forget the Jetsons and the Flintstones? They are iconic in the Hanna-Barbera community. There are a lot of great moments here and there. Like George Jetson is trying to figure out why a lot of space projects keep getting leaked for Mr. Cogswell of Cogswell Cogs to steal, only to find out his friend Rudy the computer robot is the link behind it. And seeing Fred and Barney go in disguise to gamble, only to find out later that they were in disguise by Mr. Slade and get fired, did get a chuckle out of me. And there are a few funny moments where we saw Dino being chased by Astro, the dog. But yeah, this is still a great movie. The Jetsons and Flintstones are still recognizable in the Hanna-Barbera community. It does have a great plot to understand, The animation may not be 100% perfect. I mean, it was made back in 1987, but it's still harmless enough. And the plot is very simple and very easy to follow. We don't get too many movies like this these days. And yes, Hanna-Barbera is not a stranger to crossovers when you think about it. This Yogi's Gang, which was a spin-off movie based on a made-for-TV movie called Yogi's Ark, another Hanna-Barbera related crossover. Characters from Josie and the Pussycats and Speed Buggy made a few guest appearances on the new Scooby-Doo movies, along with Babu and Genie. There's Scooby's All-Star Laugh Olympics, the Scooby-Doo Dynamite Hour, the 2020 movie Scoob, Dynamite and Blue Falcon and the Funky Phantom crew made guest appearances on Scooby-Doo and Guess Who. And even Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated brought back a few Hanna-Barbera characters. Johnny Quest, Dynamite and Blue Falcon, Jabberjaw, Funky Phantom, Captain Caveman, and Speed Buggy. And yes, even the new HBO Max series Jellystone, which is still producing new episodes right now as I'm recording this. So yeah, Hanna-Barbera isn't a stranger to crossovers. Oh yeah, there is the Fantastic World of Hanna-Barbera ride that did used to be in the Universal Orlando, Florida theme park back in the 90s. And yes, it featured the Flintstones and the Jetsons. But I'm getting off topic here. I do remember watching this movie on TV several years ago on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. And yes, this was back when I had cable. I think it was part of the Boomerang Theater block, which would often show different type of movies. And yes, that does include the Jetsons Meet the Flintstones. Oh, and I almost forgot that the Jetsons and the Flintstones would make a few guest appearances on Teen Titans Go, those being Intro and Warner Brothers 100th Anniversary episode. I almost forgot about that. And yes, I guess I will point out that the Flintstones and the Jetsons did appear in issues 7 and 8 of Scooby-Doo Team Up and were fictional characters in Scooby-Doo Mask of the Blue Falcon. So I guess there was more Flintstone Jetsons connections than we thought. Another thing I like about this movie is Elroy trying his best to figure out how the time machine works. And yes, there are times when George Jetson had to help Fred and Barney get their jobs back at a Boss Picnic event, which unfortunately didn't go so well as Fred and Barney hoped they would. But at least George did try his best to help Fred and Barney. And I did chuckle a little bit when Wilma and Betty found out that Mr. Slade fired Fred and Barney for good. There's just something about the Jetsons meet the Flintstones it just seems like a great movie. And if you're not like fans of the Flintstones or the Jetsons, I won't make a big fuss about it. Sometimes most people would have different thoughts on certain movies or TV shows, including the Jetsons Meet the Flintstones. So yeah, the Jetsons Meet the Flintstones is a great movie for all fans of Hanna-Barbera alike. And if you're not much of a Hanna-Barbera fan, then that's okay. Because I'm sure you guys are like into other shows and movies. Like Danny Phantom, The Avengers, SpongeBob, Mickey Mouse, The Wiggles, Sesame Street, The Muppets, The Rocky Horror Picture Show, Blues Brothers, Beetlejuice, Finding Nemo, whatever. Whatever floats your boat. But I highly recommend checking out the Jetsons Meet the Flintstones. You can still find a VHS and DVD copy of this movie at Amazon, Target, Walmart, a local thrift store, or you can just watch various clips of this movie on YouTube. Or better yet, you can even check out the Nostalgia Critic doing his thoughts on the movie. Yes, I do remember that the Nostalgia Critic did that. I remember that the Nostalgia Critic did a review of this movie a while ago. I guess he has a bit of a soft spot for the Flintstones, since I remember that when he reviewed the live-action movie, he didn't like the Flintstones that much. I guess he's not like a big fan of the Flintstones. But hey, I'm not gonna make a big deal over it. So I think the Jetsons Meet the Flintstones will be a great movie. And I do like the time travel elements of this movie. It is pretty unique, to be honest. I mean, it kind of reminds me of Back to the Future, considering how this movie came out 2 years later. Another thing I like about this movie is Rosie getting sent to the days of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table when she was trying to find the Jetsons. That did get a bit of a chuckle out of me. And I'm glad we get to explore another time period rather than the Stone Age and the future. So yeah, the Flintstones Meet the Jetsons will still be a great movie for all of us to enjoy no matter what. So I will give this movie five flying rocks out of 5. And yeah, 5 flying rocks out of 5. Thank you guys for watching, and wish me luck on trying to find the other 5 Hanna-Barbera Superstars 10 movies that I mentioned minutes ago. I'm still gonna try my best to find those movies, no matter how long it takes. And if I do, I'll end up having all 10 of these Hanna-Barbera Superstars 10 movies in a row. Yabba dabba doo, Jane!